Want to know how substance abuse treatment counselors fit into the fight against human trafficking? Hi, I'm Dr. Celia Williamson, and I have 26 years' experience fighting human trafficking. And I can tell you that substance abuse treatment counselors are critical to the healing and recovery of survivors because often when survivors are trafficked, raped, sold, traumatized, abused, they start to use drugs to cope with their trauma. They sometimes aren't afforded the opportunity to go to a clinical counselor to process their rape, to process their trauma. And so they use drugs to cope and bury that trauma. Um, and so substance abuse treatment counselors are very critical to the healing and recovery of survivors in that aspect. Often, people who use drugs and have a substance use disorder um, will begin to sell themselves to buy drugs. And so, in that sense, that they are being prostituted because of the drug. So they may not have a trafficker, a person that is forcing them to do this. It may be the drug that is forcing them to do this. So we call those prostituted persons or prostituted women. Either way, they both suffer trauma, whether you're a trafficking victim because someone has uh, committed force, fraud, or coercion that convinced you to go out and do this, or you're manipulated into it, or whatever the case may be, or you begin to use drugs and then you sell yourself in exchange for drugs or money to get drugs. Substance abuse treatment providers are critical to helping survivors go through that process of sobriety, which also includes uncovering that trauma, working through that trauma. And so becoming a substance abuse treatment counselor is going to be very important. And it's an important component, it's an important key. And if that's your passion, then that is going to be awesome in terms of joining us in the struggle against human trafficking. But if you're not exactly sure that substance abuse treatment is the way to go, check out my other videos because I talk about a lot of professions and how they intersect with the fight against human trafficking. And if I haven't talked about one and you're interested, just drop me a line or email me at Celia at Celia at CeliaWilliamson.com and I'll do a video on it. Also, join the Emancipation Nation Network. There is a network of anti trafficking advocates from across the US and around the world in one place. All you have to do is Google Emancipation Nation Network, and you can become a member for free. We offer free webinars and workshops and information on grants and information on the latest research and assessment tools and all the things. And you can network and talk to other advocates that are in the fight against human trafficking. The other thing you can do is listen to the Emancipation Nation podcast as you're making your decision about how you would like to enter this fight or become involved in this fight. Listen to the podcast because there are lots of experts that tell you the what they do and how they do it. And that will give you a lot of good insight on how you can become involved.